Well, it is noon at Central Time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome everyone to our October bite-sized learning for Texas DLA. And while you're there, why don't you go ahead if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, tell us where you're from, and why you decided to attend today's conversation with Shawn Keen. So our title today is A What? AI's game-changing role in adaptive tech for the blind. And the nice thing is that I know I talked to Shawn, he's going to kind of expand that a little bit also, but really kind of figuring out how it can be used for anyone. So I am Rhonda Blackburn. I am the Chief Information Officer at for Texas DLA and the co-chair for professional development. I'm also the director of academic partnerships at Science Interactive. And as you see there, I've done a lot of stuff, but my thing that I absolutely love when to do these sessions is that I love to learn and find out new fun things that are going on out there. I also want to introduce Kelly Irwin. You want to introduce yourself, Kelly?
Sure, I can do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Irwin. I am the professional development co-chair with Rhonda for TXDLA. We've been doing this for several years now, so it's kind of one of my favorite things to do. For my day job, I'm the director of education at learning.com. We are a K-12 education technology company with a focus on really preparing students for success in the digital world, helping them to find a way to have a healthy relationship with technology. So that's me.
Thank you. So as you know, this is part of our bite-sized learning series. If you got this information through an email but haven't visited our website, if you go to texasdla.org and you click on webinars, is it still called webinars now? I think it's called learning now. Anyway, and you can get to our bite-sized learning, all the past things that we've done, and also what's coming up. So this month, as you know, we're going to talk about AI and its role in adaptive tech for the blind. Next month is National Distance Learning Week, the 4th through the 8th. So we are going to actually have a webinar every single day, Monday through Friday. You'll see the topics there, kind of introducing you and getting to, especially if you want to get more involved with Texas DLA, this is a great way to learn a little bit more about everything that we're doing. So hopefully you will join us. So keep an eye out and see what times and be able to register for those. So also coming up is our fall Texas Day Fall Leadership Workshop. It's October 16th through the 18th, so next week. You can still register, and it's in Marble Falls, Texas. So you can discover your unique leadership style and also kind of really think about the future of Texas DLA and where we're going in that leadership. Also, make sure you have marked your calendars for Leap to the Future, Ignite Digital Learning Innovation with Texas DLA. It is our annual conference. It'll be March 30th through April 2nd in Denton, Texas. And there's also a virtual part to it, April 22nd to the 23rd. Call for proposals are still open. So if you would like to share something that you've been doing or something that you would like to share, definitely turn in a proposal to us. And that could both be either face-to-face or virtual, or you can turn it in and say, put me wherever you want. So we would love to see you there. This is a Zoom meeting, as everyone can see. We are recording this. We record all of our webinars so we can share it with our membership. The chat is available, as you see, so please, we would love this to be interactive. I know Shawn would as well. We'll keep him updated on if anything comes into the chat to ask questions. And also, if you can keep yourself on mute if you're not talking, so that way we don't have any background noise. So would love to jump in right now to our topic. Again, it's what? AI's game-changing role in adaptive tech for the blind. And I would like to introduce you to Shawn Keen, and I would let him to introduce himself.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go ahead and do this screen share so I don't have to worry about it when I'm trying to talk.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Video selected.
So
Screen share. Press F6 to switch.
all I'm really sharing is JAWS because that's
Speech on
all I
demand.
need. But and I'll use that in a minute to show you something pretty cool. But my name's Shawn Keen. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Actually in the middle of moving right now, so it's nice to sit down and take a break actually and come talk to y'all. And I really have one of the coolest jobs in the world, because I get to, I mean, my whole world kind of became this AI guru or whatever you want to call it. That's what people say. I'm not trying to give myself a fancy title because let me tell you a little bit of where I came from and then I'm gonna jump right in because I don't have like 29 minutes, so I'm gonna try to keep it brief. But I'm always happy to come and talk to you, either on Zoom or some meeting, some virtual something, or if you want in person, we can arrange that. Is if you want that, I can talk on a lot of topics. I'm wearing these really cool glasses that are called the Envision glasses. And that's actually my main day job, what I sell. So I work for that company, Envision, makes these AI smart glasses for blind people. That's a whole other hour conversation. So I'll talk about that and I'll be happy to answer questions if I can. But my name's Shawn. I was born with glaucoma in the 70s, and I could see a little bit growing up, a little bit of light and color, just not in detail. So I've kind of been I like to say, a product of the system, so to speak. I grew up with a teacher, with teacher of the visually impaired, and then I went through a little bit of college and a little bit of school of hard knocks and that kind of thing. And I've been through the VR rehab system, and I've had O&M and mobility and technology and braille training and all that stuff. And I'm kind of the result of that. And it's kind of funny because I went to uh, Division of Blind Services. This was about 10 years ago, and it was, I guess it was more like 15 years ago. Gosh, time goes by. But anyway, I was asking for services, and one of them was independent living. And the independent living teacher that came out, I was asking him, I was like, "Yeah, what else can I do? What else could I be, what else could I work on?" He's like, "Well, you're kind of like it where we want people to be, when so I didn't realize that. But so I worked as a technology trainer in Texas, and I was a contract trainer for about 4 years. I used to go all over the place teaching JAWS and Zoom text and all that stuff. And then after I did that for about 4 years, I went and worked for the Lighthouse for the Blind at Fort Worth. It's a nonprofit, and they had a client services department that handled technology training and independent living, and we did a couple of mobility instructors. And I was there for 6 years, and then after that, I spent 3 years with Texas Workforce, and actually that's where I just left March 1st. I became the Southeastern sales manager for Envision. There's a company that makes these AI smart glasses. And so my whole world's kind of revolved around this AI thing for about 2 years. I got into it. It was a hobby. It was something I wanted to I was just reading about, and happened to go find this website. And I think at the time, it was, you could translate languages, you could have this thing write for you. So I'd write in some silly sentence, and it spit out, it rewritten as if Dr. Seuss wrote it, or J.R. Tolkien or somebody. And it was just the most amazing thing ever. And so I started really messing around with it, working during the day and coming home at night and spending time learning that. And that's kind of how I am. I'm kind of this technology person. I always gravitated to that. And the one consistent thing in my life has always been technology. So yeah, I got into this whole AI world, and learned a lot, enough that there's a background on the screen there. It's of a dog, and that's an AI picture that I made using this new this open AI, which I imagine a lot of people have heard about open AI and Gemini and Bing and all these different things, and probably heard AI model and large language model and computer vision, and all that just means a really smart computer that's trained either to recognize language or to recognize images. And all of that's expanding like before our eyes, like every day something new. I mean, even from where we were 2 years ago till today, if you wanted to get on the more technical, nerdy side of AI, like I do, we've just come so far. And, in the future, I said there's large language models for language, there's models for images, and there's soon be models for videos, and they can already handle audio. So if you have this OpenAI app, if you've ever played with that on your phone, I mean, you can go in there and talk to it and ask it questions. And I tell people all the time, if you've never played with AI, go ask it the one question you've always had. And I don't know what your question will be, but the answer it gives you, you will be amazed. You will be just beyond belief. And so that's the cool thing about this technology is it's not just for blind people, it's not just for people with hearing impairments, or it's not just for everybody else, it's for everybody. There are definitely some drawbacks. There are some things that AI does that are being worked on that the computer companies, they're aware of the whole hallucination thing. And there are good reasons why, that happens. And I've had it happen with me and some of the apps I use. So I'll try to touch on that if I get a chance. But so the big deal is large language models. Those are AI models that you can type to or talk to. So you might have OpenAI on your phone. You can talk to that on your phone and ask it questions, and you can do some really quite amazing things with that. With that app, you can make images. You could say, create me an image of a cat or a cat with glasses. And the more detail you put into that description, that text you're writing there, the better your image is going to be. So the more detailed you get, the better your image gets. And so I use the OpenAI app all the time. It's pretty accessible for me. I'm kind of a power user, so I usually find out ways to use things that everybody else didn't figure out. But also I use apps like Be My Eyes and Ira and Seeing AI, because those are all apps in Envision. Envision has one too, and those are all those apps are free and they're all connected to AI. And so, I'm going to use Be My Eyes for an example. They have this tool called Be My AI, and anyone can download this app and use it. If you have Messenger on your phone, you can use AI right there in your Messenger app. So, but blind people, it's really a lot easier to use apps that are designed for us. Not because I can't use the OpenAI app. It's just because sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's more simplistic to and I kind of have a couple of workflows that are all centered around the different apps that I do use. And like I have reasons for using one app over another for a certain task. And so it's great that, we have choices for that now, because I grew up in the 70s and 80s. We didn't have a lot of choices back then. So anyway, I'm gonna get more to the AI here in a minute, because I want to show you this thing in JAWS. It's called Picture Smart. And it's gonna describe the Zoom screen, and maybe we'll get it to describe, something. I don't know. We'll figure out something here. So let me do that.
Full speech. Mute. Currently unmuted. Alt plus A button.
So hopefully y'all can hear my
Audio settings
speech.
button.
Rhonda, if you're
Mute.
Kelly, somebody there.
Audio
Yeah,
set-
we can hear it,
We can
Shawn.
hear
You're
Okay.
good.
Good deal. All right, just want to make sure.
Space.
So I'm hitting the JAWS key and the space bar. Now I'm gonna hit the letter P.
P. Picture Smart.
It says Picture Smart, and I'm gonna next hit the letter S. This is in JAWS 2024, the latest version. So if you have an older version, you might not have this.
Picture Smart is in progress. The image shows a computer screen with a virtual meeting interface. On the left, there is an email inbox from Outlook. In the center, the Zoom interface. Delma Maldonado Gomez put in waiting room. Delma Maldonado.
So it gave me kind of a brief description there. I'm gonna go down here to the
Link
bottom,
if the image displays option on the right. Link ask questions about this image from Kelly or enter type a question edit.
and I'm gonna
Enter.
do ask a question about this image. So I had a couple links. I could have gotten more details, but I'm gonna tell it what I
Delma
want.
Maldonado Gomez D E S C R I B E space Z O O M space D I N O W space.
I said describe Zoom
From
window.
Susan Mann to enter. Describe Zoom window. The Zoom window on the right shows a list of participants. At the top, a video feed displays a person with their name labeled below. Two other participants are listed with their names, but their cameras are off, indicated by a muted video icon. There's a small panel for additional participants with an arrow to scroll. The background is mostly black, and the active speaker's video feed is highlighted with a green border. From Rhonda Blackburn to Ev.
Okay, so it described
From
the
Kelly Irwin to
window
Ev.
though there, and let me see if I can get it to describe me.
D E S C R I B E space P E R S O N space I N.
So Shawn, while you're getting it
Oh.
there, we were just asked in the chat.
Uh-huh.
So someone uses NVDA as their screen reader. What is the benefit of using JAWS over NVDA?
I mean, it's not a preference thing for me. It's a utility thing. So JAWS has picked this Picture Smart feature, and NVDA might have something comparable, but I don't know what it's called.
Enter. Describe person in video. The
Okay.
person in the video feed is sitting in front of a blurred background. They have short hair and are wearing glasses. They appear to be facing the camera directly. The background shows what might be a living space with a
So you got a lot of detail there, and that's
escape, mute,
a very, very quick example of AI and of JAWS and of an AI description, because it went through there and described, it would have described anything on my screen had I asked it to. And the thing about
Smart has
having
left the
that
meeting.
on an iPhone is
Space.
that you
Speech on
can
demand.
take a picture of your surroundings and get an amazing description like that. You can hang on,
Full speech.
I think I need
Alt
this.
S here.
There. Okay. Trying to minimize my stuff there. So when I got access to this in August of 2023, it really hadn't been that long. It's only been a year. I started taking pictures, and because this came out with Be My Eyes. So if your students have the Be My Eyes app, that's the most amazing thing in the world is with the Be My AI tool. You can take a picture of anything, anywhere, and get it described. And now they have filters on there. I mean, you can't do anything bad or anything, so it won't allow you to describe everything, but it does describe the good stuff. Or and it's amazing. It's really changed my life. The amount of freedom and access I have, and I have it on these glasses that I'm wearing too. These are the Envision glasses, and they're for blind people, for people with some low vision that may have progressive vision loss. They will scan text. They will allow me to use this AI functions on scanning a menu and asking it to only read me the sandwiches, or scanning a menu and asking for specific items and how much they are. One of the demos I did with the glasses is that I have an electric bill, and I take pictures of the electric bill and ask it how much the bill is, and it tells me. And then I ask how much, what my account number is and what the mailing address is. Because the old days, when I was growing up, we had to scan stuff and listen to the whole thing read out to you. And with glasses like these, I can read it anywhere I want, anywhere I have a Wi-Fi connection, and I can get that amazing scene description like you heard on Zoom. I can use that anywhere. I can use that outside my backyard, my garage. And it's just made such a difference in my life and freedom to be able to, because not only do you get the amazing descriptions, but you can ask further details. And there is so much in this visual world that I'm always blown away. Just every day, it seems like I'm amazed. And I've heard other people say this, and I just didn't. I guess I didn't believe them or something. But I was at a hotel in Louisiana. That's one of the states in my territory. And I was using my glasses. I was eating breakfast in this hotel, and I was taking pictures just at random, having to describe things. And it kept saying something about mosaics. And so I got into a conversation with my glasses, more or less, asking to explain what a mosaic is. And it went through this big, long description. And I was like, man, I learned so much from this technology. So, and it's on my computer. I have, 5, 6 different ways of using it on my computer. It's built into JAWS. It will be built into other screen readers as that comes along. So if it's not an NVDA yet, I'd be shocked if it wasn't. But it will be. It's about to be in voiceover on the Mac, and it is coming out on the iPhone if you have the new 16 Pro, I believe. I haven't tried that yet, but I know the Android phones even have the AI built into it, and everybody is doing really incredible things with it. And so, with these glasses and with JAWS and with everything, all these different devices and all these different apps, there's one drawback. And that drawback, well, it depends on who you are. There might be more than one. But the major drawback is that there's a delay. There's a 10, 20, sometimes 30-second delay to take the picture and then wait for the result to come back. And so that's evolving over time. I mean, the glasses I'm wearing, we can do that in about 5 seconds. But still, that's 5 seconds. 5 seconds to wait. Time is important. So the next big thing on the horizon, like within the next year or two, you're going to be seeing devices that can do that image description on the device itself. So you can press a button and get that image description, split back in a split second. That's coming within a year or two. So really impressive. And I've enjoyed being kind of having a life in education and being able to teach people new things. And so that's kind of what I do in this space is I have a Facebook group that I started about a year ago, and it's called AI for the Blind. And just like last week, it hit 4,000 members. And we have blind folks, we have all ages, parents, teachers, we have all kinds of people on there. And it's just this community that we're building kind of together. I kind of built a team around it, and about 10 people working on this. And we're about to launch a website that's going to be for the group, and it's going to have resources. If you teach in blindness, and you're familiar with a website called Applevis, we're going to make like the AI version of that, and really put some tutorials out there, because this is something blind people need to learn. This is important. I tell people all the time, I think honestly this is as important as the invention of Braille. Because as the years go on, as time comes, new and more creative things are going to come out, and Envision's doing that. I mean, I could talk for an hour on one of the features that Envision has right now that would just blow your mind. Um, even more than what I've showed you so far. But I want to take a break and me quit talking and see if y'all have any questions, something I can answer.
If you have a question, you can definitely open up your mic and ask Shawn, or comment or anything.
Yeah.
So Paula King was wondering, do you provide Envision glasses to schools?
We provide them to anybody that's interested in buying them. I actually, and I'm happy to answer Envision questions and all that, but I will give my contact info, and if you want to schedule time on that, I'm happy to. But yeah, we sell them in Texas. We sell them to the VR, to Texas workforce customers, to Health and Human Service, all the different, the VA. I've been talking to a lot of people that education really is important, and there's definitely a market for that. It's just there's three of us, and three of us managers over the United States, and Crystal Vision is if you're in Texas, Crystal Vision's your best resource. Y'all know Bobby Lakey. If you don't, I got his phone number.
So we also have a question. What is the onboarding time for a user to build comfort with using this type of assistive technology?
So the glasses have about an hour to an hour and a half onboarding, and like Crystal Vision does that for us in Texas. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and they get the user set up, and that can be done over the phone or over Zoom as well. I do it all the time, and so that walks the user through taking the device out of the box, getting it connected. It does, so you use your phone to set up the glasses, but once they're set up and on your Wi-Fi, you really don't need your phone. So really getting it connected to the phone takes like 2 minutes, and then the rest of the time is spent the customer learning the gestures. We have a lot of onboard help, so a lot of things can be done from just the user standpoint. If you're blind and able to get one of these, most people can set it up out of the box, but the onboarding is definitely helpful.
So we have another question. Have within your company, do you do testing on content like side by side with the sighted tester to see how accurate descriptions are? So she's thinking about if the glasses were used on academic content like charts in journals and stuff.
That's something that they're about to release. I believe version 2.8 of our software is coming out, and I don't, I mean, I'm sure in testing, the answer is yes about the cited tester, about someone cited in the chart. But you mentioned charts and graphs and tables, and that's one of our features that's just about to get expanded to where you can take a picture with it and have it describe a table or a graph.
Very cool. There's a couple of people that said they would like the same thing with for their ears.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is spoken, the glasses here are spoken, so it's spoken output.
Yeah.
And so it does connect to AirPods and headphones and everything else. So just FYI. And let me go ahead and put this phone number out there if somebody can type this out for me. Bobby Lakey, Lakey. He's with Crystal Vision, and his direct number is 469-360-1143. They're our Texas distributor for Envision glasses, and I mean him and Jack Hickman, any of those guys would be glad to do a demo for you.
So going back to some of the AI different applications,
Yeah.
where do you see this going, like for an instructor or even someone that's doing training within a company? How could they really utilize it to benefit the students or learners that they're with? I mean, what could they be doing?
Well, a lot of the different companies are coming up with creative ideas to use this more. So, Be My Eyes is doing some really, I mean, they've always done some really innovative stuff. And so one example right now is they're getting, and it's part of their work model, their product model, I guess you would call it. But they have a contract with Hilton. And so if you're at Hilton, any Hilton property or any one of their brands, you can go into the Be My Eyes app and go into specialized help and go to Hilton and get into an AI chat, and maybe there's something wrong with your room. Maybe you have a question about the TV, or you can do all that with AI. And so I think the more we get into, the more all this evolves, because that's kind of the challenge right now, is that it's really not hard. None of this is very hard, but it's still the user doesn't want to go through all that trouble to make it work. I mean, I'm happy to go type it all out and teach somebody how to do that stuff, but really the end user is going to want an easier experience. And I think that's what all the companies are doing now, is they're making that easy. I mean, most people, they want it to work. They don't want to know how it works.
Definitely. Well, because I was thinking that even as a teacher to um, give the opportunity, I guess, for people to play with something in a safe environment. So being able to integrate some of these applications into a lesson or things like that is kind
I,
of.
I'm actually, and I know not everybody's on social media or Facebook, but I'm right now, the 4,000 people, we reach out to, and that's kind of what we teach on there, is the basics. But as another complete project that I don't have people for or time for right now, I wake up going about 1,000 miles an hour, y'all. No kidding. But another thing I've been working on, and I plan on getting out hopefully in a year or two, is like an online e-learning type platform where educators could go and learn about, how to teach this, how to apply it, because that's a lot of the things even now, as people go, how do you connect the dots? How do you apply this technology to the real world? And so, one of the links, I'll be glad to send an email out after this with some links to the different things and contact info and all that. But one of them is with a collaboration with Vanderbilt that I have. And so there's this online platform called Coursera. And Coursera has this Vanderbilt connection. And so I took a course on Coursera about AI and AI prompting. And the man that taught this course is Dr. Jules White of Vanderbilt University. He's a computer science professor there, and me and him become friends now. And he told me that he's like, he was at dinner one night with some friends, and anybody can do this. Anybody can try this if you have the OpenAI app, or Even if you have Be My Eyes, you can do this with any AI. I've done it before, but he had a friend that was a lawyer, and he said, "Man, I hear about this computer vision stuff where a computer can recognize anything in an image and describe it, and I just don't know. I'm not sure what all you could use it for. I have trouble thinking of ideas." And so Dr. White said he pulled his phone out and took a picture of the table and asked who needed a refill. And it told
Wow.
me I mean, I do a demo with these glasses and I put 3 water bottles on the table and ask it to tell me the water levels. It'll do it.
Wow. It's pretty cool. Are there any other questions or comments? Goodness. Um,
Yeah, there is. I mean, the exciting part about this is I'm an audible learner. I've always gravitated to using speech or listening to audiobooks. I mean, I read Braille really good and I'm a good Braille reader, but I like audiobooks. I mean, it's entertaining to me. And another thing that's interesting to me, another thing that's entertaining and educational to me is this type of book. They're called historical fictions, and it's where they build like a fictitious story kind of into the story to the history part. You kind of get the best of both worlds, and with AI you can do that. You could take any subject imaginable and have it presented to you any way you want, and that's cool. I mean, especially for blind students.
so we have another question. It says, we talk about how to hook learners into the experience. What would be some tips for doing that using the glasses or other assistive technology?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the joy of this is finding, and what I would say is if you use AI, here's the challenge. If you use AI or you want to go say, okay, I don't believe this, there's no way. Make a list of fictitious names for your students. You know, you're not using their real name or nicknames or whatever. Make a list with traits like that, and then ask it that question. And what I would say is like find fun stuff that they're interested in, whether it's Harry Potter or kids. I don't know if kids are into Harry Potter anymore. Probably not. Shows what I know. But whatever the going thing is that's popular, even YouTube. I mean, there's YouTube videos now that we don't have an app to describe the videos yet, but I can still screenshot the video while it's going and get a description later.
I think that's great. And my daughter is into Harry Potter still. So I think there's still some kids out there, and she's 14 or almost
Good.
14. Any other questions?
It's 12:38, so we got about 10 minutes, and I mean, there's so much to this that it's like trying to drink out of a fire hose.
Yeah, so one of the things that Kelly and I were actually chatting on the back end that we're in the process of putting together some micro credentials for Texas DLA, and I think that this would be an amazing one to put together to allow people to learn a little bit deeper into, you know,
Yeah.
what are these, what are the different apps, how can that be integrated into curriculum? Um,
Yeah, I mean there's obviously room for great harm here, especially when you're dealing with education and all that, but there's also room for some great education and knowledge and usage. I mean, you know, I don't want people to just say, "Oh, I've heard that's horrible," or "It does this," but you know, it sometimes it does, but I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's
yes.
you know, I've been on social media or Facebook or whatever, and and for a long time, blind people have been listening to pictures be described as two people and a dog. And when you get this amazing description, I'm sorry, I'm just not willing to go back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, what would be the one message or call to action you would leave us with to move our conversation forward with our institutions?
If you know, getting the information out there. As I mentioned, for even for Envision, I cover a 16 state sales territory, like from Delaware to Florida, and I got about 9 states that don't even, I mean, no, not even heard of AI, don't even know what it is. And you know, I've got plenty of places I could fly to if I had the time and resources, and I don't. But you know, and this is what kind of what I do is to promote this. So I'm happy to come and teach and promote and teach and really show people hands-on how to use this stuff, even if, you know, it'd have to be some arrangement or some way, I can do it for free, but I can make it reasonable to do, especially if you wanted to involve kids or something. I mean, there's a lot of avenues here, and I'll give you my email. It's the email that y'all have. It's Daniel Keen, Keen 9104 at gmail.com. It's not very fancy, but I'm good at gatekeeper. So if you just send me an email with a subject like Envision, I'll forward it to my Envision email and contact you that way. Because I don't actually cover Texas. That's a different person that covers Texas. But Crystal Vision does cover Texas. And I would say anything Envision, really anything AI, call Bobby Lakey, call Crystal Vision, talk to them. But my email's that, and my phone number is 817-659-9353. That's something we all got. We always got our phones. You're welcome to send me a text with your email, your contact. If you want me to forward you on to Crystal Vision, I'm happy to make that connection. So, however it is, I'm happy to try to help. Even if you don't know, I mean, ask AI. But if not, call Shawn.
Well, we do have one more question. So Paula is checking an online course for accessibility now. Can you recommend a browser extension or another resource for viewing docs and websites as you're like being able to check things within a course to make sure that
What
it's accessible?
like the accessibility stuff, I mean, that's not really my avenue. I know Numa Solutions, that's Numa with a P, is a company. They're out of Florida. They have software. One thing is called Scribe, and it's like a plugin for different meeting platforms. And you could submit your handout, your outline, whatever you want to them 5 minutes before the meeting, and they have some kind of bot that joins your meeting, and it basically transcribes and makes your content accessible for your blind users. I probably said that a lot faster, but and nothing else does that. I mean, you can make a PowerPoint, you can make all that content accessible to a blind person, a group of blind people. That's Scribe by it's PNUMA solutions.com, I think.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Shawn. Lots, as you said, just so much information out there for this. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Rhonda. Oh, if I can share my screen, it might work a little better. There we go. Yes, I will second what Rhonda said. Thank you so much, Shawn. This has been fantastic. I said before we started that I was really excited for this conversation. A lot of great takeaways personally, and I'm excited to go explore some of the things that you've suggested. So thank you again for taking the time to share with us today. It was fantastic.
I'll just say one more thing is I tell people, and I said this before, is if you hadn't used AI before, go ask it something you've always wondered, and you'll get the most amazing answer ever. That's it.
Yeah, that's such a good call out, right? There's this potential fear of AI, right? And if you just take that leap of faith, you take that small step, it opens the doors. Now, of course, you need your human piece side of it too to make sure that the answers you get are accurate and whatnot. But yeah, that's so true, Shawn. Just give it a try. As Rhonda mentioned earlier, we have some sessions scheduled for Distance Learning Week, not necessarily tied to AI, but tied to Texas DLA and sharing more information. So please watch your emails for more information about the sessions that we have. Instead of doing a bite-sized learning just one time during the month of November, we have 5 days worth of topics, whether it's learning about the TXDLA conference and how to submit your call for proposals, to getting yourself published within the Texas DLA Journal. That's an exciting one. And then, we're always looking for new ways for people to engage with the organization. And so we'll do a session talking about that. One leading the way tied to leadership, as Rhonda mentioned, and we'll look at it again in a second. We have our leadership conference next week. You may not be able to attend the leadership conference. And if you're not able to, then joining November 7th will be a great way to learn more about how to lead within the organization. And then last but not least, Ron and I will be talking more about all of the different learning opportunities that we have from a professional development kind of slant with TXDLA. So we look forward to you all joining us. And I confess, I forgot to update the slides with the new layout of the website. So my apologies that this slide is a little off. We do have a new section called Learning instead of Webinars that not only includes where to find information about the webinars and how to sign up, but how to find some additional Learning Hub information for everybody. So please check out the website for sure. We would not be able to do these webinars or the conference or all of the many things that we do throughout the year to support our constituents if it wasn't for our amazing sponsor partners. So we want to thank Anthology, Digital Resources, D2L, Inspira, Pronto, Upswing. I'm going to run out of time. We have an amazing group of sponsors, so I'm not going to go through the whole list, but thank you all so much for supporting us. Please, attendees, reach out, try to learn more about our sponsors. Great resources for our constituents. As I mentioned, and as Rhonda said earlier, next week, we have our fall leadership workshop in Marble Falls, Texas. All that information is also on the website. If you can swing it and join us, that would be fantastic. Leap to the future. We're really excited about the theme for this year's conference, as we are every year for our themes, but this one really is looking at how to ignite digital learning with innovation and through innovation. So we have our in-person in Denton at the end of March, beginning of April, and then our virtual conference later in April on the 22nd and 23rd. Again, all of the information about both conferences are available on the website. And, joining Texas DLA is $50. It's a year-long membership. There's a wide variety of resources, community, collaboration, learning that goes on as part of your membership. So please take a look at that. And again, I'm going to tell you, it's on the TXDLA website under our membership section. And last but not least, thank you all for joining today's session. Here's how you can reach our website, as well as follow us on all of the relevant socials. Hope you learned a lot more about AI and accessibility today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.